Hello and welcome to the special edition of Young Turks. I'm Shereen Bhan. As you know, the show has turned 21, and as we usually do, we trek out to the valley, to the US, to understand what shifts are shaping the tech world. Joining me today is a man who's at the heart of the AI change that's taking place. He is a first-generation entrepreneur, an immigrant who came to the US 20 years ago and decided to start up. It is my pleasure to bring on two young Turks, Anand Mahurkar, the founder and CEO of Findability Sciences. Anand, thanks so much for joining us. What an absolute pleasure to be here with you to talk about findability.
Thank you, Shereen, for having me. It's really an honor and pleasure to meet you and talk to you on this topic.
So, Anand, let's get started about your journey first before we talk about findability. You grew up and studied in Aurangabad, and then you decided to move here to the US. As part of an employment contract, you were working with Datamatics, and that was 20 years ago. Yeah. So how did you decide to start up?
So from the time of my engineering days, I used to always feel that I am a CEO and I am an entrepreneur, and I was looking for always an opportunity to do something. Most of my software career in employment was related to content management, related to unstructured content, structured content, and data. So in 2010, 2011, I got this idea that ability to find information is a key for every enterprise to succeed. And then what should be the technology called? Because search engine can be one thing. There were no big data word that time. So I coined this word findability. So that comes from ability to find information. And then I created a platform which connects internal, external, structured, unstructured data and gives unified information access. And eventually it became the bedrock for AI, because AI needs data, and I had created this platform. So what made me to come and jump into the entrepreneurship is really this love and passion towards data and how I can unify the data and give benefits to the enterprises.
Okay, so that explains the name Findability and the purpose of Findability as well. But Anand, you know, I'm reading what you say on your website. It says Findability Services is a leading enterprise AI company that helps businesses worldwide realize the potential of data and become data superpowers. Now unpack that for us. What does that mean exactly? What do you do for your clients?
So as I told you, that data is key for every enterprise, and as you know that from last maybe 10-15 years there is an explosion of data on every aspect of enterprise. So all the organizations are sitting on data, and they can become quote-unquote superpower only if they utilize that data effectively. So what we want to do is, and what we do for our customer is give them that power of utilizing the data which they have not utilized to find the insight, understand what will happen, what to do, and that makes them powerful. And
typically, what kinds of problems are you solving for your clients on the back of what you do for them?
So there are 3-4 silos of problem, but the majority we solve is what will happen and what to do for your businesses. So for example, a CEO wants to know that how much revenue I did so far. Okay, so we use the business intelligence systems, etc. But now the CEOs are not interested in sales happened so far. They are interested in how much sale will happen next quarter, next year, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. And data has those answers from the history. So we give them that what will happen to your business, how much sales you will do, how many employees you will have. So every aspect of business, what will happen, and not only that, but what to do. So if I'm doing sales X, then what should I do in order to achieve that or surpass that? And we take care of data and AI combined to give these answers. So in simple words, what will happen and what to do for every business aspect.
Okay, so simple question, right? Black swan events, and we've seen plenty of them over the last few years, the COVID-19 pandemic, the Russia-Ukraine war. Now, how do you find insights in the data to tell a CEO what they should be planning for or what they should be doing?
So the data is very interesting. There is absolutely cyclical events happening. The nature may be different. As you rightly said, 2 years, 3 years ago, pandemic happened, then war happened. Now generative AI disruption is happening, slowdown is happening, recession is happening. But in history also similar events happened. May not be of that magnitude, but the businesses got interrupted. And the data has a power to tell us that story from the past. And AI can unreveal that story and give us answers for the future. We may not be able to predict exactly when pandemic is happening, but I can predict that cyclically how much sales I will be doing. Plus, in addition to this, the power of not only your internal data, but the external data. And external data has a very good power to give you foresight. So for example, just take a simple example of weather. Now there is a storm coming in India. Now, if I know this 10 days in ahead, my predictive analytics can take care of that weather inputs and give me precise output saying, do this. And therefore, even if these black swan events happen, they are continue to give us very good insight into the future.
Okay, so you're better prepared.
Yes.
So now let's talk about where things currently stand as far as your portfolio is concerned. You have, what, 40 plus global clients at this point in time. The US is your largest market. Japan, because of the SoftBank connection. Take me through that as well.
So we operate in 3 countries. United States happens to be the largest customer. What we did is that we have developed this horizontal platform. So we are not a vertical centric company. We can go into retail, manufacturing, banking, financial services, etc. So we have many vertical customers. India happens to be our sort of a office which supports as a center of excellence on AI. So we develop a lot of products. We support our customers. We are primarily a product company. So we have built this intellectual property and technology in India, and we deliver it in US and Japan. We also serve in India as a customers. I personally see a big potential in Indian corporates, and we do have very large customers in India, and we will continue to grow on customer side also in India.
Okay, so let's talk about India and AI, because that's the question at this point in time. Sam Altman was there, and I think there's a lot of back and forth on the comment that he made. I don't think he was questioning the capability of Indian talent or Indian engineering. I think what he was saying is that, look, for the kind of work that people are talking about, which is these large models, it will require not just capability but significant capital. Now, how do you read it, and how do you believe India is positioned and poised today when we talk about the AI age?
So I think, Shereen, you know better about Indian capability in terms of finance or capacity in terms of software development or resources. Actually, I read everything in the newspaper, so I may not be the privy to all the information. But what I read into his comment based on what I read in the newspaper is actually he mean that India should actually focus on problems which are not solved. Okay, and I also personally think so. Like creating LLM and feeding the data, yes, anybody can probably do it who has money, infrastructure, resources, and I don't think there is any question about in India if somebody can do it or not. But I feel also personally, and that's what even at Findability Sciences we are doing, is that how do we do and solve the next level problems. So to give an example, what we are doing at Findability Sciences is we built now a governance framework for the generative AI and discriminative AI.
Okay.
Now this governance framework is going to let enterprises adopt generative AI much rapid than just going and saying that, oh, there is a generative AI and I'm going to adopt it. So we all should focus on those aspects, and I believe that he meant that way, or at least I read it in that way.
Since you're talking about generative AI and, because of ChatGPT, the planet is talking about generative AI, its ability, its also the perils of it and what it could potentially mean in terms of displacement, disruption, and extinction. Now the fear is that are we 5 or 10 years away from extinction on account of AI?
Right.
What do you make of that?
So first of all, we need to understand that generative AI is not new. Okay, I think it's happening since 2017, 2018. The capacity or what it did was actually not known to the public at large. When OpenAI came up openly with this technology, now everybody knows about generative AI. But generative AI generates new content, okay? That is being built on historic data or the data which is available. The algorithms are trained and we get new content. Now, will this extinct planet or human beings, etc., is really a big question. What is it going to do, according to me, is that there will be job replacement or displacement in some areas, not all. To me, being a techie, I think software development is an area where there is a big issue, or there may be a potential displacement. The second is the marketing, content writers. To me, all the content creators need to be content editors now. Because you really don't need someone to write for 8 days and come up with some output. You can get in 2 minutes output and then edit it and use it. So there will be change. There definitely generative AI is the most powerful innovation of humankind, or at least in our generation. But Shereen, I think the generative AI is going to, if you study all the reports, in fact McKinsey came up with the report just 2 days ago, there is going to be only 25 to 30% impact onto the economy or financial addition into the market. The discriminative AI, which we worked all these years into it, which is typically what we talked about, the predictive analytics, the relationship, the analytics, etc., that still is a big contributor into the economy or into the businesses. So generative AI to me is a very good innovation. It's going to help us to do many things better, cheaper and faster, but I don't believe that it's going to go to the extinction level.
Anand, so what is the plan now as far as findability is concerned? At this point in time, the focus clearly for every startup in India and outside is also on profitability. Now, you've been profitable since inception, is what I'm told. So, what has been the journey so far for you in terms of ensuring that you not just grow, but also remain profitable?
So, Shereen, I give credit to my background. As you already said, that I come from a small village. My roots are very strong, and I ran the business very cautiously, and we will continue to do that. We are not only a profitable company, we are a zero debt company. Today in the enterprise AI world, you may not see a company like us which is zero debt, profitable, revenue making, having customers and having real technology. So we continue to grow, and how we did.
So what is the current revenue run rate?
So it's about, in terms of revenue per repetitive revenue is in excess of about $10 million, which is the ARR, which is a very key in our business, is to get those repeat revenues. And this is only for US, and then India and Japan gets added into it, and being SoftBank involved into it, we can't talk about all those numbers. Right. But coming back is that the growth we are not doing at the cost of profitability. Okay, we are not taking customers for the just sake of taking customers. We are not just doing proof of concept for showing the revenue, but we take the customer, we prove them the return on investment in first year, and we get the repeat contract. So return on investment is our big focus in AI to our customers.
Okay, so you talked about India being the hub at this point in time from an IP and a product development point of view. You've got what, 75 people that you employ in Aurangabad. So what is the expansion plan now?
So we 75 in Aurangabad. We have about 35-40 in Mumbai, and we are a product company. So we really don't need masses for doing services type of business. Our focus continue to be on India, particularly now on combination of discriminative AI and generative AI. We are creating the prompt engineers, which you must have heard the new name.
Yes.
So, by the way, yesterday I made a...
I heard another term today, reward generating engineers.
So, prompt engineering is definitely a true profession which is going to generate. And our plan is, yesterday, in fact, we conducted a training course for about 1,000 engineering students in India, where we trained them on the generative AI and prompt engineering. So, our focus is going to be continue to develop products, continue to focus on India, and expand within the secondary or tertiary towns. So we don't want to load Bangalore and Hyderabad and Pune and Mumbai anymore. So Aurangabad, potentially Nasik can be a location, or maybe Ahmedabad type of a location in Gujarat can be one where we will continue to expand our business.
What's been the big lesson as a first generation entrepreneur of building this business and now scaling it up?
It's not easy, but if you have courage, you can do anything. And I think what the Findability Sciences trait we followed is a courage of taking decisions, sticking to it. In spite of pandemic, in spite of recession, we continued to be there. We never took the U-turn, and we deliver our customers the real solution. So as a first generation entrepreneur, as far as you know what you are doing and your customers get benefited, you are going to be successful.
So, what would a typical sort of order size be for you with the clients that you're working with?
So our average customer size, or particularly the discriminative AI project, cost about $250,000 a year. That's the starting point where we take one use case and solve that in that range. But then as customers continue to use it, the data starts exploding, the use cases start exploding. And we have few customers who bill us more than $1 million as well.
Okay. So how many $1 million customers are you likely to acquire in the next few years, and are you seeing any visible signs of a slowdown, etc., in this environment? Because that's what the big boys are talking about.
I think slowdown is there for big boys because they mainly worked on the services part of it. They mainly worked on the traditional IT, and there is a pause or a slowdown. I would call probably pause because generative AI has made a question to many CEOs in terms of what is really this is. Okay, can my technology be as easy as where I can type a question and get the answer? So there is a pause. In fact, we sense from some of our customers that they pause some of our contracts and say, let's first discuss this and then come with some new ideas. I don't see slowdown in the enterprise AI area. I think it's actually going to grow. Yes, I see IT services being slowed down because generative AI is going to disrupt that.
So what is the 5-year plan, and what is the aspiration that you have for Findability? I mean, where would you like to take this? Where do you see it?
So basically, as a first generation entrepreneur, I want to create value. Okay, value for my shareholders, value for my employees. And Shereen, on this point, digressing for 10 seconds, I can tell you that not even a single manager left me since they joined me. So the management team, when they come to me and work with me, they don't leave. So that's the environment we have. So with those dedicated team, we want to create value. So what's our 3 to 5 year plan is really create value. And we are currently valued very well. The way we are working, the way we are generating revenue, the way we are inventing, increasing the value, shareholders' value is what is a 3-year plan, not even 5 years.
Okay, so what would that mean? Quantify if you can.
So all above options are available. We are looking at possibly IPO. We are looking at possibly a big investment from some large corporations who are looking for companies like us to support them.
Which means that you would sell out?
Not really sell out, but what we need now is really a muscle to take what we are doing into a larger market.
So strategic investors.
Correct. So investors or partners who can not only just give us the financial muscle, but the networking and distribution muscle.
Okay. And, are you in the market looking, scouting? Have there been offers that you're exploring,
not actually,
evaluating?
Not actually from our side, but in terms of offers, I get really from year one. Because everybody hears about the company and they don't believe that this is a profitable company, this is an enterprise AI company. So a lot of people approach me, but we are very strategic in terms of what we're going to do. Our focus is not that. Our focus is actually creating intellectual property and value for our customers.
So what are you waiting for? Who are you waiting for specifically?
I'm waiting for really to take the company to the next level in terms of this combination of governance, generative AI and discriminative AI. And we want really maybe hundreds of customers who are going to use this and get benefited through their businesses.
So give me a sense of the kinds of customers that you have across different industries, different sectors. What is the complexion?
So we are a horizontal technology platform and a tool company. We have customers in banking, financial services, manufacturing, retail. Some of the published customers who have allowed us to use their names and they are in public domain. In manufacturing, we have Daikin, which was earlier Goodman Manufacturing in US, which is one of the largest HVAC manufacturer. They are our customers in manufacturing, and there are many others. In terms of financial services and banking or content management, we have Hindustan Times in India. In pharmaceutical, we have Takeda in Japan and US. So Takeda Pharma is the largest pharmaceutical company. So we have really multi-billion-dollar brands working with us. And I see that there is a big traction of now that we solved a problem in one vertical. Now similar customers are coming to us from the same vertical.
I want to go back a little bit to your personal story and your personal journey, because I think, coming here to the US 20 years ago, taking that kind of a leap of faith and taking a bet on turning entrepreneur. For someone, I believe that you learned the English language only while you were doing your engineering?
Yes, Shereen, I studied, actually you said Aurangabad, but I'm born and brought up in a place which you may not be even knowing, named Ambezogai, which is in the interior Marathwada, which is about 300 kilometers east of Aurangabad. My parents were teachers. I studied in Marathi, vernacular language, through my high school. When I came to engineering for Aurangabad first time, all my subjects were in English because of engineering. And there where I started learning actually English, because you'll be surprised, in 10th grade I had an English one subject, and that's all I took. The rest all in Marathi. So I studied English in engineering. When I came to Mumbai at the age of 21 first time. So I didn't know even that Mumbai city exists. I don't know, even in childhood I knew America as a country exists on the earth. So it's a fascinating journey.
Would you ever thought that Boston would be home for you?
Not at all. Not at all. It all sounds like a fairy tale when I look back. It all happened, and I continued working very diligently in whatever I do, and that continued to give me a journey and exposure, and that brought me here.
So, to other entrepreneurs who are watching, who are looking to start up, and those who have started up and are in the infancy of their startup journey, what is the message that you would like to share with them?
So, I think everybody is entrepreneur. Everybody has idea. What I felt, and when I see people around me, that those who sleep over the idea, they don't become entrepreneurs. The moment you have idea, you should stop quote unquote sleeping and take it forward. Okay, don't overthink whether this will get so. If you are convinced about an idea, you can convince the world that this is sellable product or buyable product. So that's my first message, that if you have idea, just jump. I've seen many people who will say, oh, I'm doing job and I can do in the night time some idea and work on it. Generally that doesn't work, so you have to do it very full time. The second is that don't take U-turns. Okay, there will be many hurdles. You will get, like I felt many times, saying just stop and take a U-turn and join a job, and you probably earn 3 times more than what you are earning now. But I think if you want to continue to be an entrepreneur, don't take U-turn. And then third is that whatever you do, do the best. Okay, no shortcuts, no undercuts, just do the best, deliver the best, and things will happen.
Well, Anand, things have happened, and we hope that things will continue to happen for you. But thank you so much for joining us here on this very special edition of Young Turks as we celebrate 21 years of chronicling India's startup ecosystem, India's startup founders. It's great to have you join the Young Turks community, and we wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you very much, Shereen. Thank you for having me here. It was a pleasure talking to you.
It's been an absolute pleasure. With that, it is time for us to wrap up this edition of Young Turks. From all of us here on the team, goodbye. Thanks for watching.